Hey guys, it's Reed here, and this is episode 34 of Contest Coding. Looking at this problem, this seems quite formidable, so it may not be a perfect run through this time like usually I have them no stop, so be prepared if this video goes a little bit longer than you're used to. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I know I'm going to store my stuff in an array list because I care what order they're in, so I'm just going to store it as a string, and actually I don't care too much what order they're in, but array list is easier for me. I'll just check them for sets later. I don't want them to be sorted. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and store my string constants for the output. Usually if you have crazy long output like you do in this situation where you have to print out like boom, no more burgling, the day is saved, you're probably not going to want to have to type that a bunch of times in case you have to output it in different places for different catches. So usually what I do whenever I have long outputs like this is I just kind of make them constants in the main method. Now you could make them constants in some other method, but usually the main is the most efficient for me just to not have to worry about it. You know, it's just sitting up there right above my for loop. Fluffykins. So Fluffykins. This is terrible, yeah. I do not like it when they make you print out these crazy long outputs, so I'm never a fan of this. I don't understand what the point is of wasting your time trying to type up the output, especially if you don't type it perfectly, you could completely miss the problem. So if you're writing questions, don't do this to your people that you're going to be assessing. So hopefully that works out there. I think that is correct. Then moving on. Okay, so first we're going to take the input and store it as a string, obviously. And then that's going to be my string input, send.next. I'm also going to convert that to a char array called values equals input dot to char array. So that's how I'm actually going to be comparing my answers. I'm going to be using a char array to do my combination algorithm. And I guess if you haven't read the problem statement yet, basically you're just computing all the combinations and you're going to see if the combination solution is within the time bounds that they're giving you. So string key equals send.next, which is the key that I'm trying to match, and then int time equals send.next int. I'm going to guess there are several different ways to solve this problem, so I'm setting max the time there, but this one I'm going to try should be the easiest to understand and the most efficient to type, so hopefully this will work. Another thing you want to consider is it doesn't give you a limit on how big the string could be or the key values could be. So when you're creating combinations, you probably want to put several steps of, making it like really efficient and not having like checkpoints to kick it out of your recursion, because I'm going to be solving this recursively. I'm going to include several check statements to kick it out of the recursion. So if the number is super big or the combination length is like crazy long and then it's only going to have like 1 as the max time, I know I don't have to sit there running the loop for forever. I can just kick it out really quick and just say, nope, it's never going to be alive. So coms equals new array list of string. That's where I'm going to store all my different combinations. And I'm going to have a create coms, I guess is what I'll call it, with the values and an empty string. That'll be the string that's like the previous assessment, so it'll be like the 1 and the 1 combination, or the 1, 2 and the 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, etc., etc. And then if my coms contains the value after it kicks it out of the system, I'm going to say alive or dead. Okay, so now the fun part, writing the recursive create coms algorithm. So I'm going to take a char array of letters and I'm going to take the string current, which is the previous string that's everything's already stacked up. First thing I'm going to do, if coms.size is greater than max, just kick it out. Return, you don't have to go through any of the checks. If lets.length equals 0, it means there's nothing left in the array. Don't have to do anything, kick it out, we're done. Now if lets.length equals 1, because it means there's one thing in the array, all I'm going to do is add it back onto my string. So I'm going to first, change of plans. This is going to be a tree set. I'll let it worry about keeping things organized. New tree set. And then I'm going to coms.add the current plus let's 0. And I need to make sure I cast let 0 to a char so it doesn't add integers. Like that. And then I'm also going to run return here, so I will put braces and just bring this down to separate lines. Like that. Okay, hopefully that is readable. Okay, so those are the basic catch statements I'm going to be doing to make sure everything fits in properly and there aren't any issues with just crazy amounts of stuff getting added in. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do char array of the next vowels equals a new char array of lets.length minus 1. This is what I'm going to be passing to the next level down. And I'm going to have it stored emptily right now, so nothing will have to be put in there. It's just going to be blank. I'm almost going to do a string temp up here because I'm going to be having to calculate stuff in the loop below, so I think I'll probably just leave it up there, make it nice and efficient. No extra memory used. Equals 0, I is less than lets.length, I plus plus. And now for the fun part. Okay, so we're going to set temp equals current plus the char of lets I. And then we're going to just do comms.add temp. And then we're going to do array copy. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to array copy everything before and everything after the letter I, or the character at I. And then I'm going to stick that into the let's next value. So let 0 starting at there, next val is my object. And then the range of 0 through I. And then the next part will be if I is not equal to the boundary, because I don't want it to be if it's the last letter, it's just the first part. And this one, it's okay, you don't have issues because you're not doing a subtraction, but I do know that whenever I go and I'm taking everything less, I'm going to take everything less than 1 of the length of the array, so it's the last object, it's going to kick it out of bounds. So for that reason, as long as lets.length minus 1, so as long as I isn't lets.length minus 1, the very last object, I know I can run this array copy. And just do lets I plus 1 because it's right there. That's the part where it will get kicked out and throw you some exceptions. Next val I lets.length minus I minus 1. And that will work in the first one because if it's 0, it's lets.length minus 0, or lets.length minus 0 minus 1, so it'll be the 1 index. Or actually, if it's array is 0, but yeah, if hopefully that is clear. This will not throw it out of bounds if it's the first object in the array because I is 0 and lets.length will be more than 0 at all times. Okay, and then I'm just going to do create comms, recurse through with the next value with my temp as the current. So let's see if that works. Java C burglar.java. Okay. And let's dot. Did I misspelled length. Java burglar. Oh, and there it is, perfect right there. So that's the solution. So basically the solution is go into your array, you're going to do it recursively, and then you're going to check and you're going to have your array that you return, everything before and everything after the object I. And then it works. There you go. Thank you for watching. I hope to see you on the next episode.